Before I start this video, I just want to say thank you for 600 subatomic particles. I can almost expertise a legendary commander with that. And so in celebration, here's an AI generated image of 600 turtles. I'm trying to get monetized to see how that stuff works. So like and subscribe, and more importantly, I do need watch time hours for that. So it really does help to not click off the first 30 seconds of the video. Anyways, back to the video. This is by far the greatest addition to the game. It makes combat so much more fun and easier for anyone looking to make a free extra march, and it also brings the most versatile combinations for rally and garrisons. It's free, and anyone can use it with the correct circumstances, and of course, the item that I'm talking about is none other than the artifact. I don't have footage for it because I don't have access to it at the moment, but for those that don't know, with the artifact, you put it on your secondary commander by equipping it to that commander as if it was an equipment accessory. I will say that again, as if it was an accessory. And what that does is it changes the troop type of a commander's skills if they were limited to a specific troop type. So I can take Guan Yu, for example, and make him a cavalry commander, which don't do that. It's not a good idea. Or if you wanted to, you can make Scipio into an archer commander. Anyways, that's how you use it, and you can acquire it in KvKs like Storm of Stratagems. You can eventually use it in Tides of War, and a few other KvKs as well, and I think even Warriors Unbound maybe, but not all KvKs have them. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the single one best commander for the artifact as far as the open field goes, and this commander is definitely worth it at the time of this recording, and probably going to be for a long time after this, and right now, I'm pretty sure no one can dispute this. I can't possibly go over all the possible pairs because there are so many things that you can do with so many commanders that it would require me to make other videos, but for now I'll give you the one best commander for the artifact, and that commander would be none other than Zhuge. Zhuge is the upgraded version of YSG because he is just better in almost every way possible. Now for sure, Zhuge, he is the best commander to convert into infantry, and I say that because he offers that AoE that also does a 15% damage debuff to enemies, and on top of that, he gives an amazing 30% health. And I get that everyone already knows that health is great, but it's especially great for infantry in my opinion, because you get your attack from research and commanders. You also get your defense from your gear and research if you have legendary gear, meaning most of the time infantry lacks health, the most important stat by a lot. So if you pair Scipio with Zhuge, in the open field, you get 50% health with both of them combined, making that march to be well-rounded in terms of stats. And then on top of that, since they both do AoE and skill damage, together they synergize pretty well, especially with Zhuge boosting skill damage on his third skill. Together they do double AoE with different debuffs, one to health and the other to damage, which are arguably the two best stats for combat. And also, I would say with no hesitation that Zhuge at 5511 is completely better than a max Guan Yu, and I have no doubt about that. Then moving on past infantry, we go to cavalry. I don't know much about cavalry besides that they're inferior to infantry, but on top of that, Nevsky Joan is a match made in heaven in my opinion. Nevsky's defense debuff paired with Joan's double skill AoE is just too good. Don't mess with that pair if you don't have to. So contrary to a previous video that I made, you can pair Huo with Zhuge. Yes, I already know that Huo is good with William, but this is a Zhuge and artifact video, and truth be told, I would still choose Zhuge over William any day of the week, just because William is too squishy, and in my eyes, he has an awkward AoE that I'm glad I don't have to look at myself. And both Huo and Zhuge deal skill damage, so they're Gucci when it comes to that. And then after cavalry, we go on to archers. If you use the artifact on Zhuge and make him an archer commander, Just kidding. Honestly, you can pair Zhuge with literally anyone, and I don't think you can go wrong with him. Just at 5511, and with the artifact, he is already viable with anything but range commanders, for obvious reasons. Naturally, the best thing to do would be to pair him with a skill AoE commander, but almost anything works. You can do it with smite commanders too, I guess, but there are better options out there since Zhuge is a skill-based commander. If you couldn't use those two commanders, being Scipio or Huo, you can still do Guan Yu or Sargon or even Liu Che for infantry, or for cavalry, you can do Nevsky or Huo possibly. Like I said, you can do almost anyone, but these guys are just the ideal pairs for now. So if you didn't already know, in order to get Zhuge, you do need to be in Season of Conquest, which is after KvK 3, I think, unless they changed it to where you can get those commanders already at Season 3 of KvK, but I don't know, I can't really see that stuff. Anyways, you can get him from the Wheel of Fortune event or a Recharge Reward event, but for that Recharge Reward event, you do need to have him already unlocked, so initially you do have to get him from the Wheel of Fortune. So for 50 sculptures, you can get Zhuge to 5111. With 190 legendary sculptures, you can get him to 5511, which is where you want him to be at a minimum in almost all cases, not just for the artifact itself. To get him to 5551, that requires 380 legendary sculptures. Here is where Zhuge will be at his best without having to expertise, because he does have the stats that he needed, being health and boosted skill damage, among other stuff in his skill set. And finally, for 690 legendary sculptures, you can expertise him. You don't have to, but he is a commander worth maxing, and ultimately, if you don't have the artifact, you can still use him with YSG and easily crank out as much AoE as possible. There's nothing wrong with that. And truth be told, Zhuge is here to stay as a meta commander. I don't see him getting pushed out of the meta anytime soon, so moral of the story is Zhuge goes hard with or without the artifact, but that artifact is perfect for him. Anyways, that's it for the video. Later.